This feels like something like Pegasus from Yu-Gi-Oh would have invented. To be like, Yu-Gi boy, come on in. Enjoy. I swear I won't diddle you. So today we're going to be breaking down Go-Go Loser Ranger Season 2, Episode 9. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, show your support, consider subscribing if you're new around here, and of course we do have the Patreon where we got the full and cut live reactions over there exclusively if you're so interested. So, let us begin. So, I'll be honest, Red Keeper might be meeting his match eventually, which I never thought I would say. Never thought I'd say that, because Red Keeper is the type of guy who established he just blows people's heads off for getting his tea order wrong or not doing it fast enough. He's a psychopath, and recently he's very much felt like Homelander. I mean, look at last week's episode. He literally, on live TV, just ripped that man's arm off. Like, he's a psycho. But the thing is there's different levels of psycho. There's people who just don't have control of their emotions and lash out like a gorilla. But then there's also those who can orchestrate and do such nefarious things all for absolute power, and arguably they're equally as deranged, if not more so, because at least they have their head kind of screwed on their shoulders more and they recognize how insane they are. I did not like Yellow until the end of this episode. He's still a douchebag, and I hate his little, I keep saying it, but it looks like Gengar from Pokemon. I don't like his mouth. But the fact that when they're all like about to leave the dream video game like world, he blows everything apart and he's like, adios, bitch. I kind of gained some respect there. Now, at the same time, this is someone it's kind of being implying it was all orchestrated by him in order to get divine artifacts and everything like that, but still, I can't deny I respect the hustle, and given that the Keepers all kind of suck anyway, I'm kind of okay with Keepers screwing over each other. Maybe D's right and we do still need to kill everyone. To be honest, I thought they were trying to build in for a bit there that maybe D would have more connections with Keepers than simply just Green. I mean, they already kind of started with Blue, where Blue, despite, not liking D before his death, still was more okay with him than you thought possible. And then there's Green, who completely knows who he is, and I was like, okay, maybe Yellow too. Now, at this point, probably Green might be able to survive, maybe, but the rest of them are probably going to have to eat shit. At the end of the day, Yellow's not a good person, but at least Yellow's honest. That's one thing I gotta give Yellow Keeper. Like, Yellow Keeper's kind of like, I'm in it for myself, I'm in it for power, you gotta get your hands dirty. He's like, yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, adios. Red's out here being like, hoo, I'm completely sane, I'm not crazy. And he just rules with fear. We got ruling with fear and ruling with crazy. Now, both should probably be put 10 feet under, but at the same time, one pisses me off less, so I'm kind of okay with it, The dream world, though, was pretty cool. It's very reminiscent to that of the school arc, and I mean, given what they did with the snake and the other boss monster, makes sense. But the idea of that kind of looping mechanic was really cool. So then adding in this it really did feel like Pegasus from Yu-Gi-Oh made this. Like, this is something he would have been telling Yu-Gi Boy about, and Yugi would be like, I want out of this weird Michael Jackson room, but, Yugi wouldn't be able to escape. It just looked cool, it functioned cool, and honestly, it's kind of a design flaw. It makes sense at first, like, the water is all like acid, but we clearly see Girl did not do okay when she fell in, so maybe have a little more safety precautions in the future. I did like their backstory, though, so, like, the initial, like, kicking down the door, protecting a kid being bullied, and then how she's running off, and then he comes in with a goddamn baseball bat and just beats the living shit out of the men in black. Like, I just thought that was savage as hell, and I kind of respected it. It was a different feeling episode again. It didn't go exactly where you thought it would, and the idea of this whole monster enthusiast group, and, like, where they truly want to go is so unpredictable, because so many people are aware of D now, and while D could absolutely take a new identity, which maybe is what they're going to have to do, especially because the actual OG Hibiki is, also in prison with people that we kind of work with. At the end of the day, I'm not sure where it's going to go, but, given that throughout this season and towards the end of the previous season, D was a lot more conflicted about, like, hey, I kind of am starting to like people, but I'm supposed to say screw everyone. He's been very indecisive about his feelings up to this point, but he kind of feels like he's cementing himself in the screw everyone who isn't me category and going back to his earlier point of view in season 1, which I think given circumstances makes sense, but I have enjoyed the fact that he's been more willing to work with people because I think it's a more interesting character piece to see someone more conflicted from where he came from, what he thought he knew. But given how everything's going, I think it's the appropriate time to shift him back into that, like, screw everyone mentality that isn't me. And, you know, sometimes I work with people, but I know my mission. Like, he even immediately tried to throw hands with Yellow. Despite Yellow being seemingly pleasant with him, he tried. He failed, but he tried. So I do think they're striking a nice balance overall with everything, and I think they just had a very fun time with this episode. I'm excited to see how the remainder of the season is going to go. I think they've struck the right balance of humor meets action. And while, yes, like, there's plenty of shots in this episode or in any of the shots in this season that you can be like, oh, could they move that better? Could they animate it more? But in general, it looks and functions like your average anime. Like, could it be Demon Slayer? Sure, and that'd be great, but it doesn't need to be Demon Slayer to be a fine-looking anime. And really, that's all most shows need to be, is fine-looking. The art's fun, and I think in episodes like these, the colorful aesthetic really popped out because of the Toon World-like environment. It was very, like, Playhouse kind of oriented design with, unfortunately, some acid water to fall into. And honestly, the booby traps and everything was just fun. And honestly, they made a character like Yellow, who I just kind of was like, oh, I'm waiting for him to die. Now I'm like, are we about to have Red versus Yellow? Because, like, the fact that Yellow's willing to go seemingly to such lengths to progress himself, I'm not going to be shocked if Yellow tries to kill Red. Now, granted, Yellow could get himself killed by Red, but we already see if you get rid of one of our keepers, they just replace him. Seemingly, Red's the only one who's like, I'm irreplaceable. At least he says it is. But if we can get multiple keepers to go up and kind of do like a kind of like overthrow the king sort of mindset, maybe they can do it. I don't know. Hard to say where they're going to go. These boss monsters are causing a ruckus. D doesn't really have allies after having a lot of allies, like just even a couple episodes back, so I'm not sure where he's gonna go. But either way, this was a fun episode that did not go where I expected. And you know, going from a complete Homelander moment, introducing someone who might be able to rival Homelander the following episode, is frightening, but as a viewer experience, very, very engaging. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to see what they do. Let me know your thoughts down below. What did you think of this week's episode of Go Go Loser Ranger? Where do you think it's going to go? Do you think Yellow's going to get himself killed because he's flying a little too close to the sun? Or do you think Yellow's going to yeet Red out of his throne? Probably Red makes it. He seems a little too crazy to go down, but time will tell. But yeah, your thoughts down below. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new around here. Of course, ring that bell. And hey, yes, we do have the Patreon. Full and cut live reactions over there exclusively. And I do give a personal video shout out to all my patrons as well, if you're so interested. So today we got Corbo, Caswell Joel Jensen, George Parra, Carlos D. Lopez, Dryas Varhoch, Universal God, OOK then, Kevin Wallace, Tony Keats, and we also have One-Eyed King 25. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care. You know, have a good one.